Welcome. My name is Taylor Welty, and I'm the head of school here at BASIS Scottsdale Primary West. Thank you both for joining us today to talk about our kindergarten program here at BASIS Charter Schools.
Thank you so much for having us. My name is Amanda Vance. I'm a teacher here at Scottsdale Primary West. I've been working with BASIS for 7 years teaching kindergarten. I earned my Bachelor's of Education at NAU, Northern Arizona University, and since then I have really enjoyed working with children at BASIS.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Adette. I'm Bernadette Sulin. I am a kindergarten teacher at BASIS Scottsdale Primary East. I've been teaching kindergarten for 15 years, and this is my 10th year with BASIS. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in child development and education. I'm an avid learner and passionate in teaching children to read and love reading.
Wonderful. Thank you both for being here today. What do you feel is unique about the kindergarten program at BASIS?
I think that one of the most unique things about our programs here at BASIS is how we instill a love of learning in our students. And I feel like we do that because we give the students things that they wouldn't typically learn in a different school. We challenge them and we provide them with unique opportunities to really learn and to grow that love and joy of learning.
Absolutely. What is your favorite part about teaching at BASIS Charter Schools?
My most favorite part, I think, is seeing the children progress and grow every year. I get motivated and excited every year to create fun ideas and experiences for the kids and see their curiosity and creativity. So that's one of my most favorite parts about our kindergarten program.
It's amazing to see how much they grow from the beginning of the year to the end of the year and all the progress that they make.
Yes, and their love for learning too. Mm-hmm. They're excited to learn. They're eager to ask questions and curious learners.
Awesome. Amanda, what's your favorite part about teaching at BASIS Charter Schools?
My favorite part about teaching at BASIS Charter Schools is definitely getting to work with the students, getting to work with the children and help to create that love of learning and that desire to learn. Just like Adette said, by providing creative and fun, enriching opportunities for them to learn. And I love to get to see that spark of learning in their eyes at the beginning of the year just grow throughout the year.
Awesome. Can you walk us through a typical day in kindergarten at BASIS Charter Schools?
Sure. So a typical day at kindergarten starts off with our literacy program, where we focus on our foundational skills and we use our core curriculum. After that, we move on to our math portion of the day, where again, we use a different core curriculum to support the students' learning. After math, we move on to our civics, history, and science section, where students are exposed to different parts of history, different parts of science. They learn all different kinds of things in that portion of the day. After that, we move on to our next two literacy sections, where we work on handwriting, learning to form sentences, and we also work on reading and more writing development. And that concludes our typical full day of kindergarten here at BASIS Charter Schools.
Wonderful. Adette, can you walk us through the afternoon portion of the school day?
So our afternoon program is a program for our full day students. We start off with lunch, then they transition to recess, and they start their arts, music, drama, engineering, and Mandarin. And that's how they experience all of the non-academic activities in school.
Can you talk a little bit about our core curriculums and how they are more accelerated for our students?
Oh, sure, I'd love to. So for literacy, we use the curriculum Logic of English, which we love. It's a very great foundational skills curriculum. Really builds our students to be strong readers. And when we use that curriculum here at BASIS Charter Schools, we are actually accelerated. So our kindergarten students will be in first grade level. Our first grade students will be in second grade level, and so on and so on. We find that doing this really challenges the students and helps them to really achieve their very best when we move that bar up for them. And our core curriculum really helps to support us in achieving that goal.
Absolutely. What would you say are the benefits between half day and full day?
I think the half-day program, with us teaching the core curriculum, they're able to learn the foundational skills for literacy, reading, and math. But the full-day program enriches those academic areas and those core areas. It also prepares them for their transition to first grade. So I think that a good balance of the full day and the half-day curriculum really brings out a well-rounded education for our students.
Wonderful. Adette, what do you feel are some of the benefits of our co-teaching model here at BASIS Charter Schools?
Our co-teaching model truly supports our students because we have two teachers that are able to provide remediation or challenging activities to keep our learners engaged. And both of them have different strengths to help each student learn in the classroom.
Definitely.
I'd like to add that I think it's really beneficial to have two teachers because just like with our students, every teacher has different strengths. So if one teacher has a strength in math, for example, it would be beneficial for the students to have that teacher instruct them in math while the other teacher supports. And then on the flip side, perhaps the other teacher is very skilled in English and they take over teaching those English lessons. It's a great support not only for the students, but it benefits the teachers as well.
Definitely. So we have a smaller ratio with 2 teachers and 30 students in the classroom, which becomes 1 teacher to 15 students, which allows us to provide a lot more support for our students. We're going to take some questions from our audience now. How does the school support each student's unique needs and learning styles?
So we are able to benefit each of our students' learning styles and unique needs through our intervention system. We have a great intervention system at our BASIS charter schools where we work very early on in the year to screen and identify those students with exceptional needs right away. And through our interventions, we're able to give each of those students their own individualized attention to meet their specific needs. I think our intervention system really is a great way that we're able to support the individual needs of each student.
Absolutely. And again, with having 2 teachers, you're able to provide that level of support to our learners.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then also the social and emotional curriculum that we're able to implement in the classroom and really help our students process ideas, their emotions, and create great social activities for them.
Do you ever work on organizational skills, things like that in the classroom with students?
Yes, we definitely work on organizational skills. It's a huge part of BASIS charter schools is teaching our students those organizational skills, especially because once they leave kindergarten, they move to a rotating model where they're coming in and out of classes all the time. So in kindergarten, we get started with that right away by teaching the students to keep their cubbies organized, their backpacks zipped. We have supply caddies where they learn to organize their classroom supplies. And so through those different methods and activities, we're able to build those organizational skills in our young learners.
Wonderful.
And we also have the communication journal that keeps them organized in terms of what homework they need to complete at home and any extra information we want to share with parents and families.
Wonderful. What do you think is important for families to know when choosing kindergarten at BASIS charter schools?
I think it's really important for families to know that it is a rigorous program, and in order for students to achieve success, we do expect parental involvement, a pretty high level of parental involvement, but we don't want that to intimidate parents. We want parents to be aware that we're here to support them in lots of various ways.
And I think that knowing that we, the educational community that we have in BASIS, that we have teachers that are willing to provide that support, they're knowledgeable on how to, close gaps and bring the best out of our students. So hopefully parents are not intimidated by the rigorous curriculum or the accelerated program because you have a good community of teachers and BASIS and staff and administration that will work closely with your students to get them to where they need to be.
That's amazing. So what are some programs or supports that we offer at BASIS?
We offer a lot of different programs and supports for our parents and our students. We offer something called Parent Hours, which every teacher offers 1 day a week, or sometimes it's split between a few days a week, where parents can arrange to come in and meet with the teacher and discuss any needs that their student may be having, any questions or concerns they may have, and the teacher is there to support and to answer those questions.
And we have student hours as well, wherein we're able to create activities specifically tailored to the needs of the child. If they need an extra challenge or they need extra practice on certain skills, we're able to provide that during our student hour sessions.
And is that something that's after school?
It can be before school. It depends on what the teacher schedules for what the teacher schedule is for a student hour. So it can be in the afternoon, it can be in the morning.
And that's available to students who need extra support or more of a challenge, whatever the teacher believes is best for the student's needs.
That's right.
Wonderful. For families searching for the right kindergarten program for them, what are some recommendations you would have?
I think parents and families should look into the philosophy of the school. What is their mission for every student? It's critical for them to get to see the students and teachers in action. So go on a tour and really ask relevant questions to our admin staff and teachers.
What are some questions you feel like are important for families to ask?
I think it's important for families to ask about the curriculum. Families want to know what students are going to experience in engineering, where they might do something like building trash robots, and they want to know things about what they're going to do in music class, what kind of musicals they're going to learn that year, and they can ask questions about Mandarin, about what their students will be learning when they are exploring that new culture. So I think parents should really try to ask questions about all of the different subjects so that they can get as much knowledge as they possibly can before making that important decision.
Thank you, Amanda and Odette, for joining us to talk about kindergarten at BASIS Charter Schools. Appreciate you both. Next, we will have some of our families from BASIS Charter Schools join us. So stay tuned and we'll be right here. Thank you all for being here. We now have two of our wonderful parents from BASIS Charter Schools. We have
I'm Allison, and I have two students here. I have my daughter who is about to be in 4th grade, and we started since she was in kindergarten, and then my son who is going into 2nd grade.
And I'm Ashley. I have a son who's going into 4th grade also and 1st grade this year.
wonderful. What was your experience like when searching for a kindergarten program for your student?
Arizona fortunately has a lot of great school choice options, so it can be really overwhelming. I feel for families that are going through that right now. We actually did not start at BASIS. We started at another school in our district that was language-based, and at the time that was the most important to us, and I felt extremely confident going there, and I felt good about the decision. And then we got there and it wasn't quite what we were expecting, and it just wasn't a great fit. And so we actually, at the suggestion of our friends, said, if I had to do it over again, I think I would have started at BASIS. And so we did a tour and we fell in love with it, and we had missed the lottery system already, but it just turned out that somebody had, left for break and not come back. And so when we talked to the registrar, which is staff at the time, she put us on the list, and I think we got in the same day. And so we started at semester.
Wonderful.
And for me, I knew I wanted my kids to go to BASIS before they were even born. Education is very important, I mean, to all of us. But so that was something we were thinking about, like, even when we first started trying for kids, and we had looked up schools in Arizona, particularly like the high schools, inter-school districts, and things like that. And I learned about BASIS. And at the time, this was a while ago, I don't even think primary schools existed at that time. If they did, I didn't know about them. But so we knew about the big BASIS, the 5 through 12, and I was like, my kids have to go there. I had signed up to like get on the informational list and everything, even though they weren't even a concept yet. But then, so when my daughter was in preschool, I had found out that they were opening this school, BASIS Scottsdale Primary West, and I knew, I was like, she has to go there. And it was, so the first year that they were open, I did a tour, even though it was like too early to apply. I did a tour, and I knew, like, just coming in and like seeing the kids in the classroom and like seeing how the teachers were interacting with the students and learning about the curriculum, that it was just the best fit, the right fit. And for me, it was like BASIS or bust.
Wonderful. What were some of the questions that you asked on the tour that you thought were really helpful?
I think for us, just about the curriculum and the homework, it was really good to learn that, because one of the things that I had heard from other families is, BASIS is very intense with homework and things like that. And it really kind of calmed any apprehension with that, because they had, let us know that it really starts out slow. Like, it starts out with about 10 minutes of homework, and then it progresses each year. And then just like talking to other families that had been through it and just learning like how to structure that and everything, was, you're able to make it work once you kind of get through it.
Absolutely. What was the process like when you were applying for your student to attend BASIS charter schools?
So for me, I knew that I wanted my kids to go here, and the preschool that my daughter was at, because it was before BASIS had their preschool, even her preschool teacher, Ms. Jyoti, her daughter was in high school at BASIS, and she said that your daughter needs to go to BASIS, and that just further affirmed what I had already known. But she actually had let me know that there is a lottery and a wait list. So she had told me to apply to multiple BASIS schools, which I probably wouldn't have thought about. Mm-hmm. So when open enrollment came, I actually applied to 3 different BASIS primary schools just to make sure that we got into one. But this was the one I wanted to come to. And at first, I was waitlisted at all 3. So we were like 138th on the wait list for this campus, which was my number 1, and like in the hundreds for the East campus, and I think in like the 60s or 80s for Phoenix primary. And so at the time I was like heartbroken. It was almost like applying to colleges for me, even though it was for kindergarten for my daughter. And so I was like frantic and looking at other schools. I did a lot of other tours, and I just knew, like, just based on the curriculum and things that they were learning at the time, just none of the other schools to me were the right fit. So I did have some backup plans, but luckily there were a lot of other parents that also applied to multiple schools. So there's a lot of movement throughout the summer. And we did end up getting accepted to all 3. So I was able to choose my top choice, which was this school. So just thrilled. It felt like, getting into Harvard or something.
It's wonderful to have options.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes.
I would say don't let the lottery system scare you off. We started at semester and kind of walked right in. For those same reasons, just that families had applied to so many, or found other things. And so I think everything kind of settles where you need to be. But yeah, don't be scared off on the lottery system.
Absolutely. So did you apply during open enrollment period?
Yes.
Okay.
But I had it set on my calendar and I applied.
So it's best
as soon as it opens.
for our families to apply during open enrollment the prior year in November and December. But there's also opportunities that arise. Like you said, there's movement. So if families apply later, there's definitely opportunities that come up if you're very interested in BASIS. What's really stuck out to you when your student first started learning at BASIS?
When my students started at BASIS, I would tell all families that, especially coming into kindergarten, any kindergarten from preschool, it's going to be an adjustment. There's long days, and I think a lot of really tired babies in the afternoon. So if that happens to your family, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just going to happen. It's a transition, and it's a transition for the whole family.
And did your students both do full day program or the half day program?
Yes. So mine did full day, and for us starting out, I think one of the biggest surprises was just the amount that they were able to learn, just even in the first few months. Like my daughter even started reading all the Harry Potter books while she was in kindergarten, and she was able to read them, and with the phonics, sounding out big words. It was just amazing to me, the amount that they could read just within a few months. But yeah, so I think it was really great to see the progress so quickly.
Wonderful.
And my daughter wrote a grocery list for me, and most of it wasn't spelled correctly, but I could absolutely see the phonograms that I knew exactly what she was writing. It was all chocolate.
Wonderful. What do you think is something prospective parents should know about BASIS when choosing it for their students?
I think definitely that, like you said, it's a little bit of an adjustment. When you first start, it can feel overwhelming with the homework, if you have your kids in activities and things like that. So for us, it did take probably, maybe a month or two to really get adjusted and to figure out what system worked best for our family. One of the things that another parent had explained to me was having a homework folder, so that way you can do your homework on the go. So we got binders with all the supplies that they need, so that way if they have an after school activity and we have that little bit of time in between but not quite enough time to go home, that they can work on their homework in the car, and we can kind of get through that. And then we made all of our reading just at night and part of our nightly routine, so that way they can keep up with their reading. But and so yeah, I think just figuring out a structure that works well for your family with getting everything in. But then when my son started kindergarten, 2 years later, it was so easy because we already knew what to expect, and we were okay, good to go. So I think the initial child starting it can be a little bit overwhelming just for a little while, but then you get in the groove, and then from there on, it makes it really easy with the younger ones.
So we'll take some questions from our audience. One question we have is, what are some things that are unique about BASIS charter schools that may differ from traditional school?
Sure. There are definitely things that set BASIS charter schools apart. One of the biggest things is the annual teacher fund, and it's a really neat opportunity to be able to give directly to the teachers of that school that you want to support. And there are some nominal fees for things like workbooks and things like that you may not encounter in public school. But I think the biggest part, you want to talk about transportation.
Sure. Yeah. I think one of the things is, if you go to your local public school, there's typically the bus systems, which I actually there was an older lady, a neighbor that she had told me, always pick your kids up from school because they unload, all their information immediately in the car. So if you wait till they get home. So it is a good opportunity to be able to spend time in the car with them. But transportation is a thing, especially if you don't live too close to the school. So just factoring in things like that. And I would say the only thing that I'm sad about is that it's only K through 4 at this campus. So once they get 5th grade, it's they go to a different campus. So just figuring out transportation is a thing. But luckily, you can find some other great families and try to
Carpool.
and things like that. But yeah.
What are some ways that families or parents can get involved in the school environment?
Join the boosters. That's, I think, a great way. You meet a lot of friends and families. And, my kids have met friends through it. And it's a great way to support the school, the staff, because even, the teachers are amazing, but also the administration is just wonderful. So it's a good way to help support the whole staff at the school, because it really is everyone that makes it run, makes it happen, and makes all the kids thrive.
Yes.
So I think joining boosters and just staying checking with CJ and just staying on top of things and being involved. And there's also student hours and parent hours. So any opportunity that we get is always good to be involved. Oh, and volunteer for lunch.
Absolutely. Some campuses have opportunities to help with a lunch program, an outside lunch program that comes in. Our families can help volunteer and spend time with the school and help support us, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
I've also chaperoned a couple of school field trips.
So much fun.
Yes, our students definitely love field trips.
Field trips and the Olympics and
different events and things. It's really important for students and families to have a school community. So at all of our campuses, we're very big on building a positive culture and really working together as a team. Thank you both so much for being here today and sharing your perspective with our prospective families. We really appreciate it. For those of you at home, thank you so much for joining us. You will be receiving an email with a recording of our conversations today, as well as a transcript with all the other questions and answers that we weren't able to get to today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon for a tour at one of our campuses. We have two of our BASIS Charter School students, AJ and Kirstia, here.
Hi.
AJ, what is your favorite thing about BASIS?
Probably I always like meeting new teachers and new friends.
Wonderful. What about you, Kirstia?
I love hanging out with all the teachers and doing subjects and chilling with friends.
What's your favorite subject at BASIS Charter Schools?
Mine would have to be art.
How come?
Well, we always get to do fun projects, and I love feeling the brushes and pencil flow through my hand, and all the ideas rushing into my mind.
So you get to be creative in art.
Yes.
AJ, what's your favorite subject?
So mine is actually engineering, because you always get to sometimes you get to build your own things and see it home, and sometimes you don't. So you get to build whatever you want with the material, and it's just a lot really fun.
Awesome. Again, you get to be very creative. Yeah. What about your other subjects where you're learning a lot?
In humanities, I do a lot of history, which is another one of my favorites. I also like literacy. Mr. Evans does really fun phonogram games and stuff.
You practice your reading skills.
Yes.
Awesome.
In humanities, Mr. Phillips helps us do cursive, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Anything for you, AJ?
So for math, I learn a lot of new things. 1.5 is half, and a remainder is
extra.
So you like being challenged in your classes.
Yeah.
Awesome.